The architect. Luis Barragán is considered one of the most important Mexican architects of the 20th century. He was born in 1902 in Guadalajara and graduated from the Escuela Libre de Ingenieros in 1923. He was educated as an engineer, but suddenly he discovered his real passion, the art of creating spaces. So he was self-trained as an architect by his travels and studies. His work was influenced by two important figures, the French-Swiss self-trained architect Le Corbusier and Ferdinand Bach, a German-French writer, designer and artist.
The work. The works of this architect are very extensive, but there are some that are remarkable for his career. The Barragán House, Calle Francisco Ramírez in Mexico City, 1947-1948. Chapel for the Capuchinas Sacramentarias del Purísimo Corazón de María, in Taplan, Mexico, 1953-1960. The Galvez House in Mexico City, 1955. Cuadra San Cristóbal en los Clubes, Mexico City, 1966-1968, and the Gilardi House in Tacubaya, Mexico City, 1975-1977.
Color and texture. One of the features that are important to point in his work is the use of color and texture on walls and floors. In many of his residential interiors, it can be seen the typical 3.5 meter tall color walls, which he borrowed and modified from traditional Mexican architecture. Color and texture play an important role in his work. They are employed not only to remark or separate spaces, but also to determine circulation. They also provide beauty to the building.
Light. Architecture is the learned game, current and magnificent, of forms assembled in the light. Being Le Corbusier a role model to his career, it's understandable the use of light by Barragán in his work. Open spaces are often bathed by the North Hemisphere light, accentuating the simple forms and colors, remarking the landscape where they are placed. Interior spaces, both residential and public, like the Taplan Chapel, light is used to stress the feeling of a space, creating circulation, rhythm, hierarchy, and beautiful endings, using colored windows, skylights, water mirrors. This is all for people to enjoy the spirit of a space.
Rhythm. Rhythm is another aspect that plays an important role in Barragán's architecture. By combining the elements, the architect accomplishes to reinforce circulation and to provide a feeling of movement to the building. Rhythm also helps to modulate the spaces and to create different sensations.
Circulation. Talking about buildings, the plan of circulation is mainly a horizontal one. There is in all of them a marked axis where the circulation of the house occurs. This organizes the entire structure in a singular way, and gives a special sense to endings and the change of levels. Stairs are important here. The Gilardi house is an essential example for this item. On the other hand, open spaces are like that, very open, often defined by simple forms that make the circulation to beautiful endings outdoors.
Space and scale. In what concerns about scale, it is common to find an intimate scale in the work of this architect. The vertical distance between floors is usually not higher than 3.5 meters, so the space feels very intimate. Another reason why it is so is because of the structural elements. Some of the posts and beams used in construction usually have a predetermined size.
So, these pre-made measurements evolve into architecture in a spiritual an at times mystical form, resuming the feeling of the space, of people.